President Akufo-Addo and his NPP obviously do not know what time is it in Ghana. They lack the awareness of the reality of the Ghanaian people. And like the stubborn housefly which follows the corpse to its early grave, the NPP's blind faith in lies will surely lead them to their ruin in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, now to the matters which have been raised by Mr. John Boadu. The first issue Mr. John Boadu raised, or the first issue he talked about, was what he describes as a concert party comedy, which was organized by the NDC last week, Thursday, to address the many distortions that Dr. Bawumia peddled the Wednesday before that. He says that the lecture organized by the Coalition for Restoration was a concert party comedy. But ladies and gentlemen of the press, the question we would want to ask is this: why would the NPP spend hours presenting a 7-page press statement on a Sunday of all days to respond to what they call concert party comedy? If what the Coalition for Restoration did was concert party comedy, why would they invest such, amount of time and resources in responding to that on a Sunday of all days? So it should tell you that clearly John Boadu was not serious when he made that point. And that is the biggest comic relief we have had the whole of this year. If what the Coalition for Restoration did was a concert party, then their decision to spend hours responding to that in a 7-page statement is an elevated concert party. Secondly, very typical of our brothers in the NPP, he sought to ridicule the speakers who addressed that important lecture. But what we would want government and the NPP to understand is that the conversation about the Ghanaian economy is a very, very serious matter, which must not be reduced to academic titles or laurels or the positions people occupy. That discussion we submit must be about the true state of the Ghanaian economy and the worsening living conditions of our people. It is not about who bandied the biggest figures, but it is about who addressed the true state of our economy and the living conditions of the Ghanaian people. The NPP have to date failed to address the many germane issues which were raised by various speakers at the Coalition for Restoration's public lecture held last week, Thursday. And they've sought, through their General Secretary, to divert attention from those germane issues, to deny the people of this country an opportunity to discuss those very important issues. So even before we proceed to deal with their lies, permit me to reinforce the key points, the key issues that the lecture of the Coalition for Restoration raised. First of all, the Coalition for Restoration, at the Coalition for Restoration's lecture, the main speaker, Honorable Isaac Adongo, painted a true picture of the current state of our economy. He spoke about Ghana's rising fiscal risk, which has created a situation where, as a country, our total national revenue, including grants that our donors give us, is consumed by just 3 budget items, i.e. compensation, that is wages and salaries, interest costs, and number 3, statutory payments. And he made the point that 100% of our total revenue together with grants we get from donors, is today being consumed by just these 3 budget items, such that today we are borrowing to finance goods and services and very basic consumption expenditures. These are critical issues that any competent fiscal regime must address. But our brothers in the NPP do not want to talk about that. They've swept that aside, and all they care about is how to engage in installs and level unsubstantiated, baseless, spurious allegations against political opponents. Again, speakers at the Coalition for Restoration's lecture raised the issue of Ghana's rising external vulnerabilities. That has led to the excessive depreciation of the Ghana cedi. That as we speak to you today, the Ghana cedi, ladies and gentlemen, is still the worst performing currency in the whole of Africa and the cheapest in Africa. Our rising external vulnerabilities that has made Ghana a laughing stock today. That today in the whole world, the Ghana cedi is the 4th worst performing currency.